Everyone's calling for doom, but underneath it all, something very different is happening. Bitcoin miners are tapping out, hedge funds are max shorting, and the mainstream headlines are screaming caution. But the price action, the flows, and the institutions, they're telling us that actually we might be on the verge of the next big move. So if you've been waiting for that moment where smart money steps in while everyone else is hesitating, well, this may very well be it. So you'll want to stick around because in this video, we're going to break it all down, looking under the hood to see what's really happening, from Bitcoin miner capitulation to Fidelity's really bold ETF play. And we'll even spot one altcoin ecosystem, though I'm not shilling it. I'm simply sharing it with you because they've been quietly building real infrastructure while the rest of the market is sleeping. So let's get into it. Hello guys, my name is Jessica. I'm so happy you're here. And without further ado, happy Wednesday, by the way, let's jump into it. Okay, so we're first going to glance at Bitcoin's price. It has been doing well. We were close. We were at 88 when I started preparing the show. Now we're slightly below it at 87,901. So quite the strong Bitcoin considering all other market conditions. So let's keep moving on. And as we see here shared by Seth, he shares with us two interesting charts, and both, which I'll zoom in on for you, basically speak to the fact that miners have stopped their distressed selling, or their capitulation as it's called, which indicates that it may very well be a buy signal turning into a buyer's market here very, very soon. So this is very interesting. So just hold that in mind. And if you couple that with what we see here on the screen shared by far side investors, you can see that on the institutional level, we're also continuing to see a bullish signal, bullish sentiment from them, believing in Bitcoin and the Bitcoin ETF. More on the ETFs here in a moment. But you can see that we ended yesterday, March 25th, with $26.8 million flowing into the Bitcoin ETFs. So this is really bullish. And what is very interesting on the other side of the coin, so to speak, of the institutional market participating in Bitcoin's market, is that while institutional funds are investing, continuing to invest, not at these wild numbers, although 82 million is a big number, but not for them. They've invested a few $100 million in a day. So they are continuing with steady and significant purchases into Bitcoin's ETFs on the institutional level. But on the other side, shared by bar chart, you can see that, let me just read what they share here. They share that fundamental long short hedge funds, okay, are now the least long. What does that mean? The least bullish US stocks in at least these last 5 years, according to Goldman Sachs. So it's also interesting to note that these similar natured TradFi, traditional finance hedge funds, they are not very bullish on US stocks right now. So this is interesting to know that while on the one hand they're bullish on Bitcoin's ETFs, their sentiment insofar as it goes on the stock market is short. Basically, it's not long. It's negative, it's bearish. So interesting, huh? Seems the tides are turning a little bit, but what else is going on? So we also can see here shared by Look On Chain that Mt. Gox, which was, one of the earliest exchanges that was hacked, or I believe somewhere up in like 800,000, 850,000 some Bitcoin. It's crazy. They basically ended up undergoing this like really long, extensive bankruptcy. And you can see that as of yesterday, they transferred another 11,501 Bitcoin. And this is significant because this money is basically represents refunds to those that were holding their money or their Bitcoin on Mt. Gox before it was hacked. So this basically means that a bunch of people are going to be getting distributions, refunds, right? They're going to be getting airdropped this Bitcoin. Or actually, I don't know exactly how they're being paid back. I don't know if it's like checks or how they're being paid back. But these are these are OG crypto people that are getting paid back here. And so you can most likely assume, although many of them are not going to sell their Bitcoin, they're just going to want to hold this value, many of them will put this money right back into the market because we're talking about like real OGs in the crypto space. So this is very significant and speaks of new liquidity coming into the market, which is exciting, right? What else? So we can see here shared by Crypto Quant that according to 4 different cyclical on-chain metrics, they are all signaling to the fact that we're not at the end, that we are very much so still looking at a Bitcoin that wants to rally despite all of this interim sideways chopping, right? Which in large part is due to the tariffs or the reciprocal taxes, as they're being called now by Trump, and the war situation between Russia and Ukraine, which hopefully we will reach resolution on soon. Of course, we can assume these things are not simple and are taking the time they need to be, I don't want to say resolved because that's a big word considering, the historical tensions between Russia and Ukraine. But I believe Trump being who he is, not to derail here, but being the deal maker that he is, I can see him finding a way to find peaceful resolution between Ukraine and Russia. So hopefully we'll get that news here soon. So we'll have to just stay tuned. Very interesting days we are living through, that's for sure. And then we have Walter Bloomberg here sharing on X as well, just a follow-up confirmation on the reciprocal tax. That's what this means, the 2-step tariff. He calls it here a regime, but it's just, policy, which will be announced or executed on April 2nd. So it's right around the corner and it's a good one. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's going to be sector specific, right? So it's not like all imports from Canada are going to be at this one price. No, it's like automobile industry, okay, agriculture, it's going to be sector by sector, which makes a lot more sense. So we'll have to see what happens there. But of course, a lot of what we see in the market is a reaction to news like this. And okay, now moving into some of the juiciest news you may have heard on other channels, but I'm here to share it with you myself. So we have a lot going on. I have shared some of Trump and the Trump family and their associated wealth, Liberty Fund, crypto fund company or project. Anyway, Trump Media, which is one of the Trump families, it doesn't mean it's President Trump, it's the Trump family brand. So Trump Media announces its intention to partner with Crypto.com to launch ETFs. Like, whoa, this is such huge news. And it's definitely controversial. If you're thinking this, then we're on the same page because he's the president, And anyway, I'm sure he's, people are questioning him on it behind the scenes, but it's not him, right? It's his family. His family now runs his companies. But anyway, they're at the forefront as this family seems it's been for a long time. So anyway, there you have it. They're looking to partner with Crypto.com to launch their own ETFs. Obviously, makes sense. And then here you can see it shared by Woo Blockchain that, as you can read here, the Trump family linked crypto project Wealth Liberty Financial has officially announced plans to launch an institutional grade stablecoin, as I was letting you know like 2 days ago, but now it's official. Okay. And the stablecoin is called USD1, which is 100% backed by short-term US Treasury bills. This is great. And even though it's being launched by his family-linked crypto project, World Liberty Financial, they're actually doing the US a service here because they're backing it with the US dollar, the US Treasury bills. So in that way, I would say it's like USA benevolent, right? Or benefiting. So it's going to be, let me continue reading. So it's going to be backed by short-term US Treasury bills, USD deposits, and other cash equivalents. So they're helping the dollar. And it will be issued, their stablecoin, USD1, will be issued on Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain with plans to expand onto other chains. And then BitGo will serve as a custodian of the USD reserves. So there you have it. They're not skipping a B. They're taking advantage. And helping the US dollar at the same time. So it's not entirely greedy. But here you have it. It's on Medium if you want to go look it up. World Liberty Financial. You can go follow them and read more about it there. But that I would share it with you so you can also go get your, go read about it in detail there, as it's very important you do, because, or just follow me. But if you ever want to go do, a deep dive, well, there you have it. So what else? What else is so exciting today is that with the rebranding of tariffs to reciprocal taxes, we have now seen 1.35 trillion added to the US stock market today. So this just shows you the market sensitivity to specific words, right? So this is great. This is very great. What else? So according to Lark Davis, you can see that the SPX yesterday also reclaimed the 20 and 200-day moving averages. So Lark Davis goes on to say this is either the biggest bull trap ever and we're on the verge of Goblin Town. Meaning it's going to tank, right? Or the sell-off of these last weeks was the biggest bear trap ever, and April will reveal all, meaning we'll pump from here, and we'll just have to find out. I believe we're pumping, guys, because we already are pumping. What else? So if we take a look at what Bravo's research on X shares with us as well, you can see that the Fed's recession probability model has just fallen, which is great. It fell from the 60% probability down to 20%. Now, typically this happens right after a recession, and many believe we were already in a recession, and some said the recession was coming. Either way, based off of this chart, the percentage dropped, which is great. So, and it basically signals, right, when things are low, like it basically means the market is going to rally from here, or very likely will. Coupling that with the fact that layoffs apparently are spiking. Now, keep in mind, I don't know how many of these layoffs are associated with Doge and all the layoffs happening through Doge. I would assume there's a decent correlation, but the market overall is reacting well. So we'll have to see what that means. So anyway, now moving on to the chain that I was talking about in my intro that has been building infrastructure and has been pumping lately as well. We're talking about Bear Chain. Now, I am not endorsing or telling you to go buy this token. I am sharing with you what is going on. That is all I'm doing. And what else? So you can see that Fidelity, right? That has 800 billion with assets under management, so huge. They officially filed for a spot Solana ETF. This is huge. So the market is not sleeping. Like maybe, people or friends of friends, or maybe this is you. Maybe some people are freaking out about the market. But at this point, I'd hope you see the market is turning and that all the biggest players in the world, they're not worried. They are taking advantage of this moment and the sideways trending to accumulate as much Bitcoin and the worthy crypto tokens, especially stablecoins, as much as possible. Like there's no fear in the way they are investing and the moves they're making. So if you can, I would advise you follow what they're doing, their strategy and what they're investing in, but that's not financial advice. So what else? So now apparently Pump.Fund, which is very, reasonably responsible, I would say, for this whole meme coin craze sort of market belly flop that only a few capitalized and many people lost a lot of money on just recently before the election, and then it kind of tapered off during the election. Basically spun out something called Pump Swap, and I guess it's doing well. Go figure, because it has such a large user base already. So I don't know how much this actually speaks for longevity. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. The point is, everyone who was primarily participating on Pump.Fund, they're degens. Okay, they're like gamblers in crypto, and it's a certain personality type. So obviously, they all rolled over. They roll their money over into the next hottest thing, is the way I see it, and it's going to allow them to swap and all these things. So anyway, it's doing well. So I'm just sharing what is going on with you, and I am not telling you to go invest in it. But do I believe that meme coins will continue to do well and be profitable into the near future? Probably. Very likely. They now have their own category, I would say, sector in the market, but it's not for everybody. It's certainly not for anybody that will cry or be devastated if they lose money. So that's something to be extremely aware of. But if you do have gambling money, then here you go. You're welcome. You may want to go check it out if you haven't already heard. And then what else? So we have also Polymarket also cryptically marketing Solana. So you'll have to go do some research here, but you can see they say starting today, you can now make deposits into your Polymarket wallet using Solana. So they've partnered, there's an integration now. This overall is good. And if we take a look at what Leon Wademan here shares on X, you can see, and I've covered this in my past videos as well, but stablecoin supply on Ethereum and stablecoin, all like market cap in general, is at an all-time high right now, which signals to a lot of dry powder, a lot of extra liquidity on the sideline that different crypto investors, whales, just, the crypto market that makes up the crypto market, everybody that makes it, they're holding a lot of stablecoin right now. So everyone's just ready to deploy as soon as the market turns bullish, which will just happen like at the snap of a finger. That's the way it happens. So that's why I do encourage you to follow my channel and like and subscribe and make sure you're following and keeping up with all of my videos, because I will be following the bull market closely every single day as I have been so far. So I will be here to share with you what I know. The truth, the good and the ugly, I will share it with you here. So you're going to want to stay closely attuned if you're looking to invest into crypto. Otherwise, it's not for you. Just be an observer. Do not get involved if you're not going to follow daily. And to wrap up today's show, apparently Circle, right, USDC, the stablecoin, now becomes the first and only stablecoin to be approved for use in Japan, in the Japanese markets. So they're launching new operations, a new strategic joint venture with SBI Holdings, an imminent launch of USDC by SBI VC Trade, and other major exchanges to follow. This is fantastic. Now you see crypto. I mean, we just heard about Hong Kong yesterday, starting to become a sort of sandbox experimental market for China mainland. And if it goes well in Hong Kong, that's where they'll fine tune it like an incubator, the same way the US uses legislation to test out federal laws. Well, China does the same in Hong Kong. And so you see China waking up, Asia, Hong Kong already being, in process. And now we have Japan, because, they're all competitive. Everyone's competitive with each other. And that's what's amazing about crypto and Bitcoin and this whole space, is that it inherently uses and gamifies everyone's own inherent greedy nature in the benefit and best for the whole community, for all the holders, because there's only a certain amount of supply. So the more everyone holds and participates in Bitcoin or, top crypto tokens that have a limited supply, even though many stablecoins do print, doesn't matter, because stablecoins are like, I don't want to say like a gateway drug, but they're like the gateway to the rest of the crypto market. So they have like a different logic they follow. But in general, the more everyone participates and buys into specific crypto projects, and especially Bitcoin, when like Ethereum, for instance, the more the value goes up for everyone. So everyone wins when everyone wins. And that's why one of the main things I love about crypto is that no one really loses unless you invest in meme coins. So beware, I warned you. And anyway, guys, that's a wrap for today's video, and I will catch you guys here tomorrow.